Patrick Mahomes is at the center of a scheduling crisis that has forced the NFL to officially push its 2026 schedule release. The issue stems from uncertainty over Mahomes' recovery from a torn ACL, suffered late in the 2025 season. With the Chiefs being the league's biggest TV draw, owners and broadcast partners are said to be locked in debate over how to structure early season primetime games without knowing when he'll return. December 14th, 2025. Kansas City Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chiefs trailed 16-13 and possessed the ball at midfield with less than 2 minutes remaining. Patrick Mahomes, doing what Patrick Mahomes does, rolled out of the pocket to extend the play. He was chased down by defensive lineman Deshaun Hand as Mahomes planted his left foot and threw the ball away. His left knee buckled. He went down. He grabbed his knee. He did not get up the way he usually gets up. Medical staff helped Mahomes limp to the locker room as backup Gardner Minshew entered the game. Minshew completed 3 straight passes, gave Chiefs fans a brief jolt of hope, and then threw an interception to Chargers safety Derwin James Jr., sealing the loss and completing a season sweep of Kansas City. After the game, Andy Reid told reporters the initial prognosis didn't look good. An MRI confirmed the worst. Mahomes had suffered a torn ACL in his left knee. Then, after surgery the following day in Dallas with Dr. Dan Cooper, it was revealed that Mahomes had also torn his LCL on the play. 2 ligaments, not 1. The loss officially eliminated the Chiefs from postseason contention for the first time in Mahomes' 8 years as a starter, and the first time overall since 2014. Mahomes had previously made at least the AFC Championship game in each season of his career as starting quarterback since 2018. The dynasty, 3 straight Super Bowl appearances, 2 championships, hit a wall at full speed. Within minutes of the diagnosis going public, Mahomes posted a message on social media. "Don't know why this had to happen, and not going to lie, it hurts," he wrote. And then a line that would become the defining statement: "I will be back stronger than ever." The question was never whether Mahomes would try to come back. The question was how fast and what the NFL would have to do about it. Every year, the NFL releases its full 272-game regular season schedule in mid-May. The league typically announces the release date during the first round of the draft, but this year was different. During the 2026 draft, the NFL dropped several promos about the schedule release, but didn't offer a specific date for when the schedule might come out. That immediately set off alarm bells across the football media landscape. Behind the scenes, the league was dealing with a tangled web of complications. The most pressing issue was an unresolved 5-game broadcast package that Netflix, YouTube, and Fox had been competing to acquire. Until those games officially had broadcast homes, the league could not fully finalize the schedule. On top of that, the NFL was managing a record 9 international games in 2026, adding enormous logistical complexity. Hotels needed booking. Charter flights needed scheduling. Anthem singers and even Frisbee dogs needed arranging. As NFL VP of Broadcast Planning, Mike North pointed out publicly. But woven through all of these complications was one unmistakable thread: Patrick Mahomes. Mike North, who oversees the entire scheduling and broadcast planning operation for the NFL, went on the It's Always Game Day in Buffalo podcast and said it plainly. He's one of the biggest stars in the league, and I don't think any of us would feel great if we had him in prime time early in the season. And he missed the first 4 weeks or whatever. North said he went even further. Would the league want to use the big Chiefs-Bills game in week 1? That's a fair question. I'm not sure it does 30 or 35 million viewers in week 1 without Patrick Mahomes. That statement alone laid bare just how much one player's health status was shaping the schedule for an entire 32-team league. Outside of maybe the Dallas Cowboys, no team in the NFL has drawn more primetime TV ratings than Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs over the last 5 years. Remember, just last season, the NFL put Mahomes and the Chiefs in the Thanksgiving Day game slot, and the game set a regular season record by drawing 57.23 million viewers. The man moves the needle in a way almost no other player in the sport can. So the scheduling office in New York found itself in a peculiar dilemma: load up the Chiefs' early season slate with primetime games, as they would any team featuring a generational quarterback, and risk those games featuring Justin Fields or whoever else under center instead. Or push the biggest Chiefs matchups later in the year, when Mahomes is more likely to be healthy, and try to fill those early primetime windows with other matchups that might not generate the same viewership. Neither option was clean. North acknowledged that the entire timeline was soft. Is there any magic to May 12th, 13, 14? No. Is there any real downside to May 19, 20, or 21? No. He said, I don't think it's coming out in June, but that second week in May has been our target the last few years. But I don't know that it's impossible to think about that third week in May. The schedule was being held hostage, not maliciously but practically, by a combination of broadcast negotiations and the uncertainty surrounding one man's left knee. When Mahomes went down in December, the medical consensus was sobering. The initial prognosis suggested a grueling rehabilitation process that threatened to sideline the face of the NFL well into the late stages of the 2026 season. Dr. David Chow, a well-known NFL injury analyst, was blunt. There is no way for him to be 100% healthy for the start of next season. Chow said he compared the injury to Carson Wentz's 2017 knee injury, noting that Wentz even said it was an 18 to 24-month recovery, and that Wentz did not start the following season for the Eagles. The surgery happened about 24 hours after the injury. The Chiefs announced that Mahomes successfully underwent surgery in Dallas with Dr. Dan Cooper to repair the tears in his left ACL and LCL, and that rehab would begin immediately. And when they said immediately, they meant it. Chiefs head athletic trainer Rick Burkholder said rehab started on Tuesday, with the early goal of getting the quarterback's muscles firing to help reduce the swelling in his knee. Andy Reid described Mahomes' mindset in the hours after the game. Get me up, get me going. That's basically what he's saying. An hour after the game, brace me up and let me go. In January 2026, Mahomes himself stated that his goal was to be ready for Week 1, with no restrictions. His doctor indicated that it was a possibility, though the recovery time for a combined ACL and LCL injury was estimated at about 9 months, with the possibility of it varying by several months, with the 2026 regular season set to begin in early September. Roughly 9 months after the December surgery, the timeline was always going to be razor thin. The optimistic end of the projection, not the baseline. Then things started to change. In late March, ESPN's Adam Schefter reported that Mahomes was progressing in his rehabilitation and was tracking to be ready for the start of the 2026 campaign. Encouraging but measured. But the update that sent tremors through the league came from Chiefs general manager Brett Veach. Appearing on the Pat McAfee show, Veach revealed that Mahomes attacked rehab, logging full days at the facility, and even traveling with team medical staff to stay on schedule. Veach indicated Mahomes was ahead of schedule, suddenly putting a Week 1 return squarely in play. He is in this building from 7 to 3 to 4 o'clock every single day. Veach said. Then, on May 2, Andy Reid took it a step further. Reid told reporters that Mahomes was on track to participate in the Chiefs' first organized team activities later that month, the clearest positive signal yet. He is in a good position to be able to do some things. Reid said, he's in a position where he can do everything, I think. Mahomes had surprised many with a video of himself returning to the field for throwing drills, a little over 100 days after his injury. 100 days after tearing 2 ligaments in his knee. The man was not just hitting his rehabilitation milestones, he was obliterating them. And the NFL schedule makers were watching very closely, while Mahomes was locked inside the Chiefs facility attacking his rehab. From dawn to mid-afternoon every single day, the front office wasn't sitting idle. General manager Brett Veach understood that whether Mahomes returned for Week 1 or Week 5, the roster needed to be drastically different from the one that limped to a 6-11 record in 2025, the worst in the Mahomes era, and the first time the Chiefs missed the playoffs since 2014. The offensive overhaul began immediately in free agency. The crown jewel was Super Bowl LX MVP Kenneth Walker III, whom the Chiefs signed to a 3-year deal worth up to $45 million, with $28.7 million fully guaranteed. Walker, just 25 years old, was coming off a breathtaking postseason run with the Seattle Seahawks, leading the NFL in postseason rushes, rush yards, and rushing touchdowns. In 3 games, signing Walker was a message. Even without Mahomes at full health early on, the Chiefs intended to run the ball down opponents' throats. Andy Reid was characteristically direct about the signing. He's a good football player, and it won't change. He's not going to change coming to us, Reid said. We know that the run game is important, and we've got good offensive linemen in front of him, so that will be a plus for him. The Chiefs' rushing attack had ranked 25th in yards per game and 20th in yards per carry during the disastrous 2025 season, with both Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco averaging fewer than 4.0 yards per carry. Walker was the antidote. Then came the insurance policy at the most important position. On March 16th, the Chiefs traded the New York Jets for quarterback Justin Fields in exchange for a 2027 sixth-round pick. A sixth-round pick for a former first overall selection. The cost was negligible. The potential return was massive. The Chiefs were searching for a veteran backup capable of filling in if Mahomes was not fit to start the 2026 season. And Fields, despite his rocky tenure in New York, brought a physical skill set that could at the very least keep the offense functional. Behind Kansas City's upgraded offensive line and that revamped backfield, head coach Andy Reid had already endorsed Fields as a viable Week 1 starter. If it came to that, the idea wasn't to replace Mahomes. It was to protect the team's championship window against whatever the rehab timeline threw at them. And then there was the return of the man who has been Mahomes' right hand for over a decade. Travis Kelce re-signed with Kansas City on a one-year, $12 million deal that could reach $15 million, coming back for a remarkable 14th season. Kelce had led the team last season in targets, receptions, yards, touchdowns, and receiving first downs. His bond with Mahomes is the connective tissue of the entire offense, and his presence alone signaled that this team still believed 2026 could be a championship year. On the cap side, the Chiefs restructured Mahomes' contract, converting $54.45 million of his salary to a signing bonus, lowering his 2026 cap hit from $78.2 million to $34.65 million, and opening up $43.56 million in cap space. That maneuvering is what allowed Veach to bring in Walker, Fields, and several other pieces while still fielding a competitive roster. Walker himself was already forging a connection with the rehabbing Mahomes. "We've been working on getting connected in the passing game and everything, so that's good," Walker said. "I feel like I'll be used more in the pass game." The vision was emerging, a heavier, more balanced offense that wouldn't put everything on Mahomes' arm the way the 2025 version had. An offense designed not just for a healthy Mahomes, but for a Mahomes still finding his legs. After weeks of uncertainty, swirling speculation, and a fan base growing increasingly restless, the answer finally came. On May 8th, Adam Schefter confirmed that the NFL had announced the schedule release for Thursday, May 14th. The full schedule would be unveiled at 8 p.m. ET. The confirmation ended a saga that had kept the football world guessing. Reporter Ed Sherman had written on May 7th that the NFL planned to announce its full 2026 schedule the following week. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell planned to be in attendance for Disney's upfront presentation on Tuesday, suggesting the schedule would need to be finalized by then. This pattern of delaying the announcement has been standard protocol for the league in 2 of the past 3 years, but the 2026 edition carried more tension than usual because so many moving parts remained unresolved. The 2026 schedule will feature 272 games. It will include a record 9 international games, including the NFL's first ever regular season game in Australia, Rams vs 49ers in Melbourne on September 10th, and a Cowboys-Ravens matchup in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil on September 27th. The New Orleans Saints may host a game in Paris, marking the first NFL contest held in France. The regular season is set to begin on Wednesday, September 9th, with the NFL kickoff game, hosted by the defending champion Seattle Seahawks. And now, the central question that has been lurking behind all of this: where will the Chiefs land? How many primetime games will they get? Will the league slot those marquee matchups, Chiefs-Bills, Chiefs-Ravens, in the early weeks, banking on Mahomes being there, or will they hedge their bets and push those games later? Mike North revealed just how granular the deliberation was. It doesn't get finalized until the commissioner of the National Football League says it's finalized. None of us know the date yet because we don't know when we're going to walk into the boss's office and present him one. If we walk in there on May 11th or 12th and he's not happy with where we are, he'll send us back downstairs, and we'll keep grinding. That is the reality behind a modern NFL schedule. It is not just about spreading games evenly across weeks. It is a broadcast optimization exercise worth billions of dollars, and the health of one quarterback in Kansas City became a variable significant enough to move the entire machine. If Mahomes is under center for Week 1, the Chiefs could immediately reclaim their spot atop the AFC. With Walker in the backfield, Kelce at tight end, Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice at receiver, and a restructured cap providing financial breathing room. This team isn't just coming back, it's reloading. And if the rehab continues at its current pace, with Mahomes on track for OTAs, and progressing toward full clearance, the NFL may get exactly what it wants. Its biggest star, healthy and angry, under the brightest lights from week 1 onward. But even if Mahomes isn't ready for that first snap, the league has already shown its hand. They care, they planned around it. They acknowledged publicly on the record that one player's knee was affecting the construction of a 272-game schedule. That tells you everything you need to know about where Patrick Mahomes sits in this sport. There is the NFL, and then there is the NFL with Patrick Mahomes in it. They are two different products, and everyone at 345 Park Avenue knows it. When that schedule drops on May 14th, every Chiefs fan will be scanning for one thing: the date of the first primetime game. And somewhere in Kansas City, a man with a surgically repaired left knee and a chip on his shoulder the size of Arrowhead Stadium will be circling dates on a calendar of his own.